Good morning, guys. Well, it's still morning for me. You're going to see this in the afternoon. So good afternoon to you guys. I'm in the kitchen. I'm about to start I've already actually started this is going to be zucchini muffins, but it's using the cucuzzi squash. I freeze dried all of my cucuzzi squashes from this past summer, and I've been trying to use them up. And then a few videos ago, I showed you that I was trying to reactivate my sourdough starter that has been sitting in the refrigerator for months and months and months. Well, it took about a week of feeding it and discarding it, and it's active. And so I've already used it to make some stuff. I have some rolls sitting here that I'm making for dinner tonight, and I needed to use some more starter and feed it again. And so I decided to go ahead and make these muffins, because I've already made lots of zucchini muffins without using sourdough starter, and they taste really, really good. Well, I'm calling it zucchini muffins. Really, it's like squash. It would really be like squash muffins. And I've just made them regular without using sourdough, and it's come out really, really good. But since now my sourdough is active, I want to start utilizing it. And so my first act of using sourdough starter was making those rolls, and then this will be my second go around. I have some, what's it called? Garlic. I have not planted garlic into the garden yet. The garlic that I have planted in there is garlic that just stayed in the ground over winter. It's elephant garlic, and it decided to go ahead and start growing itself. But inside, I found some garlic that I had harvested from the garden, and they some of them look like they started sprouting already, and so I want to go ahead and plant those into the garden as well. I got the muffins in the oven, and I'm going to feed my I was about to say fire dough. My sourdough starter. So I just did 6 tablespoons of flour, and I'll do 6 tablespoons of water. These rolls are ready to go into the oven. I pulled out the muffins already. So I think it said about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll check them after a while. These muffins have already cooled down. Today is the day that I have counseling. Every week I go to my church. I'm a biblical counselor at my church. And so on these days, I like to make dinner super, super easy in case I have a session that night and I need to prepare for it and just need like the mental space. And so usually that easy meal is spaghetti. My kids actually really love spaghetti. And so that is what I'm going to make tonight. That's why I made the rolls. And I like to use my Instapot to make the noodles, because it's just literally 1 pack of noodles and I already have canned broth. I usually use broth with the 4 cups of broth, the pack of noodles, 5 minutes. The meat I already pre-made, and so it's frozen inside my freezer. I already have the sauce that I can, and it comes together so easy. This brings me to today's video sponsor. If you've been around here any amount of time inside my kitchen, you guys know that I love colorful things. I have lots of colorful plates up here. But today I'm going to be featuring these new pasta, or they're salad bowls, but I'm going to be using them for pasta. They not only look adorable, so they come in different colors and they match the plates that I already have, but each one of them has different designs in them, which I absolutely love. So they're two-toned. These are just the ones that I picked out because they already match my plates and my bowls that I have. But they also have solid color ones if you are a solid color person. I know they have the white. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description box to where you can purchase these specific pasta bowls, but I also have the cereal bowls and I have the plates. And I had purchased the cereal bowls and the plates before the company reached out to me and asked if I wanted the pasta bowls or the salad. I keep calling them pasta bowls, the salad bowls. It's because I'm using them for pasta and I've been using them for pasta. But these are salad bowls, and they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to feature their products, which I absolutely do because I've had their plates and their bowls for the past 2 years. So today I'm going to be using them to have my spaghetti in, the rolls, and we are going to have a salad with them as well. Now that we have our rolls ready, our muffins ready, and our dinner ready for later, we can go outside and plant our garlic. It froze last night, and if you watched my last video where I shared with you my soil test results, I shared that I had an excess amount of phosphorus and potassium, which is the P and the K and the NPK. And it didn't give me a ratio of nitrogen, but they did tell me to go ahead and amend with only nitrogen coming into the spring, and to water these beds really, really well, because with the excess amount of potassium and phosphorus, it can't handle anymore. They said that they realized that soils in the coast have high P and Ks because I guess with the, the amount of closeness we are to the sea with the seashells and stuff like that. And so we just have a higher ratio than other places of P and K. And since majority of my soil has been purchased from our local landfill, which makes compost, they said that that soil has also been known to have a high P and a K. Anyway, this is the garlic. Some of them are elephant garlics, you can see. But like this one, all of these cloves basically just like separated. And so I'm just going to go ahead and break them off like that, so that I can, they just pop off really easy since they were already separated. And I'm going to get them planted in the ground. I've been meaning to do this for so long and just haven't had the chance, but today is the day. You can see right here is where I already have the elephant garlic growing, and like I said, that wasn't planted by me. That was left in the ground and planted itself over, or it's stored throughout the summer. This cat is like, every time I come to the garden, she starts rubbing herself on me. I didn't harvest it in the summer because I kind of forgot about it. I wanted to harvest it at one point and it wasn't ready, and so I left it in the ground, and then I never came back out to harvest it, and the tops just kind of like died, and so I didn't know, I forgot that it was there until it came back up this past fall. So I separated all of this. The little tiny ones I am not going to plant, so there's like that. I'm not going to plant that compared to like something that big. So these are the ones that I am going to plant. That's a big elephant garlic, and so is that one. And then all of these tiny ones right here, I am going to still plant them because I was going to throw them in the soil, and I think I've did that before, and then we just had garlic growing random places. So I think I'm just going to put them at an edge somewhere where I don't really need the space. I've gotten all of the garlic planted, and then I did go ahead and give them a good drink of water to get them watered in. We are expecting rain in a couple days, but I didn't want to wait since I already gotten them planted and just give them a jump start on with the soil moisture. While I'm out here, I was so happy to see that the carrot bed and the beet bed is looking amazing. Let me turn you around and show you. This is the bed that I planted the beets. Where you see a little scratching and holes, that's from the cats. They like to come in here and scratch the beds, but you can definitely see all the spots where I planted the beets, and then all of the carrots that have sprouted over here, as well as this bed with the amount of rain we've been getting. They've been like sprouted. And then this is the bachelor buttons. Again, if there's soil messed up, that's from the cats. Bachelor buttons here again. And then this was a carrot bed, and I'm so happy to see this much sprouts. And what I just noticed is I wasn't seeing any, but finally we have snapdragons sprouting in these two smaller beds. I have not successfully grown great carrots in this garden, but I have grown successful carrots in my previous garden, and I will say I haven't grown a lot. Like, I've grown like the circular carrots, which don't get very deep, but I'm talking about like the but I'm talking about the thick long carrots, like the Danvers half longs. I haven't grown here. And so I'm hoping that with as many as these metal beds that I have planted with carrots, that this season I could get a great crop of carrots. It does change with all of these beds, well, most of them being planted with root vegetables. So we have the beet bed, and then we have 3 carrot beds. All of those are root crops that need a higher pK for root development than it does at N. And you guys know, if you follow from my soil test, I did not exactly test these raised beds because they were already planted and I didn't want to disturb any soil. And I basically added the same compost on top of these beds as I've done in my in-ground beds, and so I figured it would be the same results. I am going to, once these crops come out, I have decided that I am going to go ahead in springtime, and once like these plants are big and I know where not to dig, or I get them out and then I can get some soil samples, I am going to go ahead and test these metal raised beds out here as well as in the hoop house. Again, like I said, once the plants are like established and I know where I can dig and where not to dig. Right now they were still little and I didn't want to disturb any roots. The reason being is because in these forever garden beds, with them being so much deeper, I added a bunch of logs, sticks, leaves, topsoil, bag soil, garden soil, and then on top I added the compost. So it does have a slightly different mixture, and I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the compost that I've added on top 2 times, but below that is when I added a lot of bag soil, and I didn't really add a lot of bag soil in my wooden size raised beds. When I was thinking about my results, I'm like, you know what, probably deeper down in these metal raised beds, they have a different ratio of nutrients than say these beds that are only 6 inches high. And I didn't add any logs, or I did add some leaves but not nearly as much. I didn't add any food scraps. I did add food scraps in these beds. I buried plants in here, and so after I thought about it in detail, I'm like, okay, maybe I should go ahead and get these soil tested, because probably deep down it does have a different ratio, but I will be able to tell once I resubmit a soil sample for the whole garden. So I will do again the log raised beds, I'll do the wooden side raised beds, and then I'll do these metal beds and then the metal beds inside my hoop house. Last time, I won't do just a soil sample of the compost. Last time I did send a soil sample of just the compost, just to see what the straight compost NPK was, what really the PK was. And now that I know that it's high pH and that it has a high phosphorus and potassium. I don't really need to, I know that I'm not going to be growing in that by itself, and so I don't need to submit a soil sample for just the compost alone. With the garden having the high or excessive potassium and phosphorus, I can only use blood meal or fish fertilizer. I have this 5-gallon container of fish fertilizer, but I've never opened it. I bought it, actually it was sent to me from Forever Garden Beds, and I have not used it. I can't open it right now because it's completely closed. I'm going to need my son or husband to open it for me. And it's just been sitting out here getting rained on and everything. It does have one of these caps. This cat, I don't even like cats. And this cat just keeps rubbing on me every time I come to the garden. I'm actually scared of black cats because my aunt had a black cat when I was younger, and it was so evil. It used to attack me, like anytime anybody walked by the bed, it would like, you know, scratch at your feet and everything like that. And so even though I'm not scared of her, I just don't understand why she keeps rubbing on me. Anyway, so it does have this cap here, and I don't know if that can come off and that like makes it an easy pour or anything like that, because I haven't inspected this container and the label kind of, since I got it, and the label kind of washed away. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but I am glad that I got the garlic into the ground, and I am going to need to fertilize the garlic and my hoop house with just nitrogen, and basically all my plants going forward for the next season with just nitrogen and nothing that has phosphorus and potassium, which sucks because I have so much fertilizer that has equal NPK, or ones that have, like for bulbing plants or flowering plants, that have a higher PK than it does a nitrogen. So I guess I'll have to just use that one in a couple years from now. I looked at the bag, and good thing that some of them don't expire till 2028. I still have to get ready to go, so I'm gonna have to see you guys in my next video. Thank you for hanging out with me while we got that garlic planted and we made dinner for when I leave.